Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you very much, everybody. I actually wish the primaries were not over. It's no fun this way. I want the primaries to keep going, but everybody's out. I'm the only one left. That's okay, right? Right? Yeah, it ended 2 days ago, and we just kept going 1, 2, 3, 4, one after another, and we had a great time. I've never done this stuff before. Am I doing a good job? Right? Doing a good job. And I'll tell you what, folks, you heard me the other night. I wasn't thinking even about you. I'm thinking about the miners all over this country. We're going to put the miners back to work. We're going to put the miners back to work. We're going to get those mines open. Oh, coal country, what they've done. And how about Hillary Clinton? I was watching her 3 or 4 weeks ago. See, I'm going to put the miners back to work, and she said, I'm going to put the miners and the mines out of business. And then she comes over and she tried to explain her statement. That's a tough one to explain, wouldn't you say? I watched her sitting at the table with a very good group of people, and one of the miners in particular, he was not exactly happy with her. He wasn't exactly happy. So who do we have? Who is a miner in this group? Who is a stand-up? You're all standing up anyway. I'll tell you what, folks. You're amazing people, and we're going to take care of a lot of years of horrible abuse, okay? We're going to take, and you can count on it. You can count on it. 100%. 100%. And you knew that because I just had a poll. It's irrelevant now because that whole thing is, but I was like, I think it was the highest poll I've ever had. And there were 3 people. So I could have waited. Maybe they would have waited another week, I would have been happy. So I wasn't going to come today. They all said, you don't have to come because, you know, the contest is over and you're the nominee of the Republican Party. Congratulations. And, oh, you're going to be so happy. You're going to be so happy. But they said, you're now the nominee, and you don't have to come to West Virginia. I said, well, let me ask you, do they know I'm coming? Yes. How many tickets have you sold? How many people? Well, we have 32,000, but the arena holds about 15,000. I said, does that mean the place is going to be packed? Yes. Does that mean people are standing outside right now next to loudspeakers? Does that, you got more, as many as you have in here, you have more outside. I said, can you imagine? Now, we love the people outside, but your location is better. Do we agree, right? But, so I said, so wait a minute. You have like 15,000 people in here, and you have thousands outside, and we're going to, delegates, I don't even have to do anything. There's no way I don't go to West Virginia. We're going to have fun, okay? We're going to have fun, right? There's always been something about West Virginia. I'll tell you a little secret. I've always been fascinated by the mines. I always have. I don't know why. You know, I love construction. I love the whole thing. I can tell you more about Caterpillar tractors than the people that work there. I just know, I love that business. You know, I love construction, and I'll tell you, I've just always been fascinated by the mines and the courage of the miners and the way the miners love what they do. They love what they do, you know? And I was talking to some of the people, and I said, well, why don't they move? Why don't they go someplace else? Of course, in this country, you can't really go anywhere else because you can't get a job, because our jobs are going to everyone else but us. You know, we're sending our jobs to Mexico. China's taking our jobs. Japan. They're all taking our jobs, folks. That's all going to change very rapidly, I promise. But the miners don't want to leave anyway. Is that right? You want to stay here. You want to open the mines. We're going to open the mine. I see over here, Trump digs coal. Look at that. Trump digs coal. That's true. That's true. I do. So I've always been fascinated by it. I've been fascinated by the whole sequence of doing it. It's incredible, the engineering now that's involved and the safety and all that's taken place over the last number of years, especially over the last 10 years. And all of it's getting safe. And as it gets safe, they're taking it away from you in a different way. And I just think you're amazing people. And you watch what happens. If I win, we're going to bring those miners back. You're going to be so proud of your president. You're going to be so proud of your country. You watch. And the other night, you know, we had a big night. We won Indiana. And that was a great night. And I had so much help. Bobby Knight, boy, did he help me. Wow, Bobby Knight. And we had Lou Holtz, and we had the great coach from Purdue. We had a lot of people, Digger Phelps. But I'll tell you, Bobby went, and he called me like a year ago. And Bobby is Indiana. Won 900 games, won 3 championships, won the Olympics, won the Pan Am Games. And about a year ago, before I was going to run, because I've been doing this like for 9.5, 10 months, before I really made up my mind, I get a call from Bobby Knight, who I never met, but I know Bobby Knight. He's tough, he's smart, and he knows how to win. That's a good combination, right? By the way, that's what the country needs. And he calls me up, and I recognize his voice immediately. He goes, Mr. Trump, this is Bobby Knight. I hope you run. I said, Bobby, run for what? Okay? Because I'm telling you, I was 3-4 months away. He said, I hope you run, Mr. Trump. You run for president. You are going to make this country great again. I've been following. And you know what he is? He's an expert on talent. He's talent. And he said, I just hope you run. I said, well, you know, Bobby, I really appreciate it. I haven't made up my mind yet. But I'd love your number, and let me call you back if I decide to run. He said, well, you have my support. Call me back. So, you know, a lot of time goes by. And then the races, and I'm winning and doing really great. But you've been hearing me say it's a rigged system, but now I don't say it anymore because I won. Okay? It's true. You know, now I don't care. I don't care. And the only way I won by such big margins because it is a rigged system. But the only way you can do it's like a boxer. You got to knock them out. Then you can't worry about the judges. But it's true. I tell that story. You knock them out, and you don't have to worry about the judges, right? And I won by so much. And what happened with Bobby is a friend of mine from Indiana, the Hilberts. I said, who would be a good endorsement? Because this was so long ago that Bobby called. He said, well, Bobby Knight would be the greatest endorsement you could get, but, you know, I doubt you could get Bobby Knight. I said, I think I can. So I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm looking through all the stuff. I didn't put it on iPhones, right? I like the notes better, right? You know, the old-fashioned put it under a pile of stuff, right? And I'm sitting at my desk, and I look, and there it is, Bobby Knight. And I call him up, and he picks up the phone, and we're just about ready to go to Indiana. And he goes, I've been waiting for you to call. I said, that's right, Bobby. You going to endorse me? He says, I'm going to endorse you. I'll see you next week. And we went into an arena like this. And I will tell you, the place went crazy. So about a month and a half before, I was 10 points down. And then I went once without Bobby, just went. We had tremendous receptivity. And by the time, just for one day, and I left, and we were like 2 points up. And then I went for the final 4 or 5 days. I stayed there. And all I did was watch bad ads. I watched these horrible, phony ads done by people that, in my opinion, are not honest people. But they were really, well, some of them weren't so wrong, actually. A couple of them were. But for the most part, but bad ads. One of them was Club for Growth. They came to my office. They asked me for $1 million. I said, I'm not interested. And then they advertised against me. I mean, can you believe that? It's called Welcome to the World of Politics. So I'm looking, and one ad after another, and I said to my people, there's no way we can win. They spent $9 million or so. They had thousands of these ads in Indiana. I called my people. I said, there's no way. I just watched a program. At an intermission, they had 4 ads, all negative ads to Trump. And my guy said, no, you're going to win. I said, all right, let's see. And we won Indiana in a landslide. It was amazing. Amazing. It was amazing. And Bobby and all of the guys, they were incredible. That endorsement, though, was an amazing endorsement because he's revered in Indiana. And outside of Indiana, they know who Bobby Knight is because he's, generally speaking, beat your basketball teams. You know, it's one of those things. So that was great. And then a couple of weeks before that, I won New York in a landslide. And New York is good. Won everything. And the nice part about New York is they know me well. And the same thing with the ads. Negative ads, negative ads. You know that thing, never Trump. You know why it's never Trump? Because I'm going to stop the gravy train for all these consultants and all of these people that are ripping off our country. It's called the gravy train. So, never Trump. By the way, a lot of these never Trumps are calling up. Mr. Trump, I admire you greatly, sir. We'd love to join the campaign. I said, didn't you do a horrible ad of me 2 weeks ago? And weren't you on a show where you said horrible things? I said, how do you pivot from that to saying you think I'm a wonderful person? He said, no problem, sir. You know why? Politicians, they can do that. I have a hard time doing it. They can do it. So now it's really caught on, and everyone's happy. And then we had, as you know, 2 weeks ago, we had 5. We had Maryland, which was unbelievable. All victories by landslides. We had Maryland, Pennsylvania, where the miners are there, and the miners there are just absolutely, they're dying for work. They're dying for work, and they're great people. They're great people. I don't know if they're as good as the West Virginia miners. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's better. I don't know. They're damn good, but they're great people and dying for work. And I was in Pittsburgh, and I was around Pennsylvania. So we won Pennsylvania, we won Connecticut. And in Connecticut, I won everything from Greenwich to the poorest areas. They said he won Greenwich. We have very wealthy people. And he won the poorest areas, won everything. I won with men. I won with women. Very important. Boy. These people, you know, the media is the most dishonest group of people. But boy, they're killing me with the women, and I think I'm doing great. You know, every state I've won with women, big league. So I've won with men and women. I've won with rich and poor, highly educated, less than highly educated, white, African American. We've won with every category. So I won the 5 states. And then I won Indiana. So we won all of this stuff. And then it was all of a sudden like they just had enough. They couldn't stand Trump winning. And they couldn't stand the fact that a person that has never done this politically before, and a person that's self-funding his campaign, I don't take the contributions. And by the way, for the general election, I'm going to help raise money for the party, and they'll work with us. But we're going to need, you know, I hear the Democrats are going to raise $2 billion. You believe it? This is politics, $2 billion. And I'm also going to put in a lot of money in the general. But we're helping to raise money. We have a great group, and we're raising money for the party. It's been amazing, folks. It's been amazing. And that's when, I mean, this was going to be next. And I really wanted to come here, and I just didn't have the heart to say, thanks a lot, West Virginia. You know, I didn't have the heart. By the way, I have a team of people that were so great, and they were so disappointed that I won early. We just picked up all the delegates. We don't have to do anything, right? But I'm just glad to be here because I love you people. The real people. You're the real people. You made this country great. Remember that. You made this country great. They didn't have ridiculous regulations that put you out of business. They didn't have these ridiculous rules. So we're going to take that all off the table, folks. And you better do well, and you better compete and make me proud of you. Be proud of me. that make me proud of you. So, and you know, your coal association, West Virginia Coal Association, just endorsed me. Well, let's put it this way. It was between me and Hillary. And we really... No, it was between me and crooked Hillary. And you know how long they said they were in the room? About like 20 seconds. That's how long it took. But I'd like to ask a couple of the guys to come up because they are fantastic people. And if I could have Chris come up and Bill Rainey and Chris, or I guess Chris is going to represent Bill. Bill's back there and getting up on the stage, not so easy for him right now. But Chris, come on up if you would, please. Thank you very much. I love this. See, I come here, I get an award. It's probably a hat, or it's probably a hard hat. I like hard hats. Let's see if it's a hard hat. It's a hard hat. It's a hard hat.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the best coal miners in the world, who mine the cleanest and safest and most environmentally sound coal in the world, we're so pleased to endorse you today and wish you the best of luck and vow to support you the best we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so nice. I'll leave it. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'll put it on, right? Thank you, everybody. That is great. My hair look okay? Got a little spray. Give me a little spray. You know, you're not allowed to use hairspray anymore because it affects the ozone. You know that, right? I said, you mean to tell me, because, you know, hairspray is not like it used to be. It used to be real good. When I put on that helmet, and by the way, look, it really is mine, right? Look at me, right? My hair. Give me a mirror. But no, in the old days, you put the hairspray on, it was good. Today, you put the hairspray on, it's good for 12 minutes, right? But, you know, they say that you can't. I said, wait a minute. So if I take hairspray and if I spray it in my apartment, which is all sealed, and you're telling me that affects the ozone layer? Yes. I say, no way, folks. No way. Okay? No way. That's like a lot of the rules and regulations you people have in the mines, right? The same kind of stuff. So... well, I want to thank you, folks, because that's an honor. Believe me, it's an honor. And you're going to see what happens. You're going to see. I get elected. You're going to see what happens. It's going to happen fast. And you're going to be back to better than ever before. And honestly, that means all kinds of energy. It means all kinds of energy. We never want to be in a position like we were in before, where we were literally controlled by people, OPEC and others. But we were in the hands of these people. Not going to happen again, folks. Not going to happen again. So congratulations. And now what I want you to do is save your vote. You know, you don't have to vote anymore. Save your vote for the general election, okay? Forget this one. The primary's gone. Save your vote for the general election in November. And we're going to show you something, and then you're going to show me something, okay? Look at that. Okay, thank you. So, we'll talk a little bit about trade and jobs. We'll talk a little bit about the borders. Are you big border people? Are you big borders, huh? The wall. Everybody wants the wall. We'll have the wall. We'll have the wall. Well, that's very nice. We'll build that wall. build the wall. Don't worry about it. Who's going to pay for the wall? Not even a doubt, okay? Although I must tell you, Vicente Fox was on television last night, and he apologized, and I accept his apology. I thought it was very nice. Did you see it? Honestly, I thought it was very, very nice because I was giving him a little hard time about something, and he apologized. He was the former president of Mexico, and I thought it was very nice that he apologized, okay? That's good. That's good, because we're going to have great relationships with Mexico. But we need a border. We need, the border, just like I got from West Virginia Coal Association, the endorsement. Last week, I got the endorsement from 16,500 Border Patrol agents. First time in their history that they've ever endorsed a presidential candidate. So that was an honor, I will tell you. Very important. The country is in trouble. Not only the miners, not only coal, although I think your industry, probably because of regulations and nonsense regulations in many cases, but I think your industry's probably been hit harder than maybe anybody. But many industries have. The overregulation of our businesses is destroying families, is destroying jobs, is destroying businesses, and is really hurting our country. And in a sense, it's destroying our country. And we're going to change that. We're going to change it fast. When I came down the escalator with Melania, my wife, and I came down on June 16th, and I said, come on, we have to do it. And if you want to see the press, see all those press right back there? You have never seen anything like it. It looked like the Academy Awards. And they were all over Trump Tower. And it's not something I really wanted to do. I mean, doing this takes guts, like you have. But it's a different kind of guts. I don't think I have your guts. I don't think I have that, to be honest. But doing that took, a lot of courage. I didn't want to. I have this great company, this great business. I have a great family. This is hard work. I've been you go away for a week and you make 3, 4, 5 speeches a day sometimes in front of massive crowds like this. So the press will never report how many people there are here. It's 28,000 people, including outside folks, but they won't report it. They won't report it. And we didn't really have to be here. You didn't have to be here either because of the race being over. But you wanted to be here, and I wanted to be here. But I came down, and I talked about basically 2 things: trade and illegal immigration. And you know what? It was a pot of gold. And I don't say that as something that I'm proud of from the standpoint of winning. I hit a nerve because the country knew how out of control illegal immigration was. They knew how totally out of control. And they knew, and mostly from me because I've been talking about it for years on different shows and television, they knew from me, very strongly from me, they knew how bad our trade deals are. We have the worst trade deals maybe ever negotiated in the history of mankind. Other than that, they're wonderful deals, right? These are the worst deals. And let me tell you something. The Clinton administration, of which Hillary was definitely a part, she was a part of almost everything. Almost, I say, not everything. Almost. Terrible. Terrible. I didn't think the people of West Virginia thought like that. That's terrible. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Terrible, terrible people. But the Clinton administration approved a thing called NAFTA, which has single-handedly taken vast amounts of our businesses, and in particular manufacturing business, and brought them into other countries, brought them into Mexico. And I want to tell you, I live in New York, and I know New York and New York State well, and it's a great place with great people. But I toured Upper New York State, and I went to Syracuse, and I went to Rome, New York, the real Rome, New York. And I went to Albany, and we were getting crowds like you wouldn't believe. And I went out to the island, Bethpage and Suffolk County and different places. And I would see building after building, and some of these buildings were really big. Empty, empty. Businesses left years ago. The same thing that you're having. Not as bad. But the businesses left years ago, and they moved to Mexico, and they moved to other places. And frankly, China took businesses and everything else. And I get these statistical charts. I have these statisticians that love that. I'd rather be a coal miner than a statistician, but what can I think? But they're good. And after about 10 different speeches in different states, because I'd go to Pennsylvania and Maryland, New York, I realized they're all the same. I didn't even need my statisticians, because it would say manufacturing down 50% from 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And all the same, a population down. Median income way down. You know, many people in this room haven't had a pay increase in 18 years. 18 years. And you're working harder. You're working, in some cases, 2 jobs, and you're making less money. It's not going to be that way anymore, folks. It's not going to be that way anymore. It's not going to be. 18 years. You're working harder, 2 jobs, you're making less money. Not going to happen. And what's happening is NAFTA was, again, I think it was probably the worst piece of economic development. You know what it was for? Economic development of Mexico, not of this country. These are people that make these deals that are either taken care of by their contributors and donors, or they're stupid. It's very simple. Or they're stupid. Or they have no common sense. They're incompetent. But I think they're not incompetent. I think they're much smarter. A friend of mine the other day saw a deal that was made. Smart guy, very smart, very successful. He said, Donald, how stupid could the politicians be? I said, they're not stupid, they're smart. They took care of one of their donors by allowing this particular deal to happen. He said, what do you mean? I said, do you think anybody would allow a thing like that to happen? And they took care of their donors. And you look at like the Clintons with the foundation, it's a disgusting situation, okay? Hey, you know what? I gave money to the foundation. I figured, you know, maybe they'll use it properly. I didn't know they were going to use it to fly around in private jets, okay? A lot of people gave money to the foundation. But some of the money given, I mean, you take a look. What was given for the money? The whole thing is a scam. Our whole system, let me tell you, our system is broken. It's badly, badly broken. And if we don't fix it, we're not going to have a country left, folks. I'll tell you. We're not going to have a country. And Crooked Hillary, whether you look at the emails, remember this. Bernie Sanders, and I'm no fan of Bernie Sanders, although he does have one thing right. He knows we're being ripped off on trade. That's one thing he is right about. Now, he can't do anything about it, so I don't know what he'll do. He has no plan for it because he has no idea. But he knows one thing. He knows we're being ripped off on trade. I know we're being ripped off long before he did, and I know how to fix it. Okay? We'll fix it. We'll fix it so that we get the benefits. But when you look at what's going on, and, you know, a case when I left Indiana, a big thing out there, and I've been talking about it for months. I think that helped me. 3 or 4 months ago, I saw that 1,400 people were laid off by Carrier Air Conditioning. You know the story. They're laid off. They announced we're firing these people. Great people. They followed me all over the place in Indiana. Every place I went, I had Carrier people. I fell in love with them. They fell in love with me. It was like crazy. I said, where are my Carrier people, right? But they said, essentially, you're fired, like The Apprentice. You're fired! And no, the guy wasn't nice about it. He wasn't nice about it. And he looked like an upper middle management guy. And they had a cell phone going, one of the people that got fired. And it was all over the news. And without that cell phone, I wouldn't know about it. Nobody would know about it. It would just be another statistic like it's happening to you and happening all over. So Carrier's going to move to Mexico, going to make their air conditioning units, of which I buy a lot. I'm a Carrier person. I'm a trained person. You know, I buy a lot of different things. And they're going to sell them back to the country. No tax, no nothing. So all we get is unemployment. That's all we get. All we get is the destruction of families and people's lives. We get nothing. And believe me, I'm like a really smart guy. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. And you don't have to go to Wharton. You don't have to go to Wharton. You don't have to go to high school. We get nothing. And everybody in this room knows it. So I watch these conservative people, and they don't like what I'm saying. They don't like what I'm saying because they want free trade. But free trade only works if we have smart people on our side and honest people on our side, and we don't have that. We're getting beaten by every single country. Every single country in the world that does business with us beats us on trade. We're losing over $500 billion a year trade deficit with China. We're losing $58 billion a year with Mexico. Not going to happen anymore, okay? We're going to balance things out. We're going to make it fair. We've rebuilt China. When I talk about the wall, these guys that were on the stage, and now I like them all. I love them. They're fabulous people. You know, after you win, you like everybody, right? I like them. Somebody said, do you like this one, this one, this one, because you spoke so harshly? I said, I love them. They're my best friends. But they would come up to me, and they'd say, Donald, you know you're not going to build a wall. You can't build a wall. I said, why not? Explain to me why. Because I'm a really good builder. That's what I do best in all. Which is good. You get a president that can rebuild our infrastructure without having a cost overrun of 10 times what it was supposed to cost. I mean, you ever see these jobs where they were going to cost $100 million and they end up costing $1.2 billion? Do you think somebody made a couple of dollars on these jobs? And then you see the contractors who are smart people. And then they're moving into mansions, and they move to Palm Beach, Florida, and it's the good life. Only in America, folks. We're going to stop it. We're going to stop it, all right? We have to rebuild our infrastructure. But we're not going to let that happen. So here's what I'm going to do. You know, I've been watching for 6 years now. It was 5 as of about 2 months ago. Now it's actually turned. For 6 years, I've been watching our government talking about how they're not going to let businesses move. They're going to give them incentives. They're going to make low-interest loans. They don't need money. They're rich. They don't need money. They want to make them loans. They want to do all sorts of things. I mean, they, in a couple of cases, made them low-interest loans, and then they moved. Okay, can you believe it? They took the low-interest money, and then they moved anyway. So for 6 years, I've been watching. You don't want to do that. Too complicated. Doesn't work. Tell you what works. You explain to the head of Carrier, or Ford, or Nabisco. You know, Ford's building a $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. $2.5 billion. You know what that does to Michigan? You know what that does to the automobile industry? And now, that was 2 years ago, now it's working out for them. Nobody talked to them from our country and said you can't do it. There have to be consequences when you do that. All those thousands and thousands of jobs. And it was announced 2 weeks ago that now they're doubling down. They're going to build it much bigger. You saw that, right? They're going to build it much bigger. What are we? Are we stupid people? So here's how you solve the problem. You solve the problem by informing any of these companies, but we'll use Carrier as the example, that every single air conditioning unit that you make and comes across the border to be sold in the United States, and now the border is a strong border, not a weak border. It's a strong border. But every single air conditioning unit that you make that comes across the border, you're going to pay a 35% tax on that unit. Okay? That's all. That's all. Now, if you inform them before they leave, they're not leaving. Because, boy, can that change those numbers rapidly. And if they have left, or if they decide to leave anyway, which is possible, you know what's going to happen? We're going to make a lot of money for the country, okay? And every business. Why should Ford leave this country, go to Mexico, build cars, trucks, and parts in one of the biggest plants in the world, sell the cars, trucks, and parts to the United States, pay no tax, and leave all these places empty in Michigan and other places? Not going to happen anymore. We're not the stupid people anymore. When they sell a car, and that car crosses the border, you know, in the old days, they'd just have it driven in by an illegal immigrant, drive right over the border, right? Why not? Nobody stops them. Just take that car and drive it right over the border. What's happening with that is a disaster, okay? Illegal immigration. But why should Ford make these products, sell them to us, having let go of thousands and thousands of great workers, and why should they be able to sell it without a tax? Now, I'm a conservative, but the conservatives hate me for suggesting that you would dare tax somebody. I love you too. No, I love you too. But this is so easy. This is so easy. And I tell people, when I tell, and I want to do it myself so badly, but you know, they keep talking about presidential. It's not presidential. When the president calls up the head of a damn air conditioning company, but it's so much fun for me. I love this stuff. I don't take vacations. I'm not like Obama, where he takes Air Force One to Hawaii, stays there for 2 to 3 weeks, plays golf, comes back, right? Air Force One, a Boeing 747, spewing out stuff. And then he has a news conference, and he talks about the carbon footprint must be saved. Give me a break. Give me a break. Crazy. Crazy. So I want to call myself, right? And I guarantee you what will happen is the following. He'll say, Mr. President, I'll call you back. He'll then hire lobbyists, but they can't get to me. They'll hire special interests. They can't get to me. Now, if it's Hillary, they'll hire the one that says Hillary on the forehead. You don't stamp. I am the lobbyist for Hillary. Pay me millions of dollars. I'll take care of anything. I've given her millions of dollars. I'll take care of anything. So what happens is they will call back the following day. I said, listen, don't talk to me. Just give me a yes or a no. The next day they'll call back and they'll say, Mr. President, we're not leaving the United States. We're not leaving. Okay? We can't let them leave. We are losing all of our jobs. And I'm not talking about mining jobs. I'm talking about every kind of job there is. You have a different predicament. And by the way, you know the one place where we're selling coal is China. So China can use the coal, but we can't. You explain that one. China can use it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be the smart people again. We're going to be the really smart people again. We have rebuilt China. We have a country where the roads, the hospitals, the transportation, the airports, they're third world. You go to places in the Middle East, you go to China, you go to Japan, you see trains that go 250 miles an hour. You see our trains that go chug, chug, chug on tracks that are 100 years old, right? Right? We're like a third world country. So we're going to change it, folks. We're going to change it. We're going to change it. Now, just to end up, first of all, you know, I usually say you're going to leave here and you're going to go home and you're going to say the country started winning, but you're going to go out and you're going to vote. I don't have to say that anymore. I can come back because I'll come back. But in November, you're going to go out and you're going to vote. That's going to be the greatest vote you ever cast, okay? The vote was supposed to be on Tuesday. But now I can say stay home, but get twice as many people in November, right? Because we have to win. We have to win the general election. We cannot take Hillary Clinton anymore. We cannot. We've had enough of Clinton. You know, again, NAFTA was given us. It was given to us by Clinton. That was a Clinton deal signed by Clinton. And it's been the most destructive thing. We can't take any more of the Clinton stuff, which is another 4 years of Barack Obama. You can't take it, folks. You want to have your minds closed 100%. And when she said recently, 2 weeks ago, and I watched it, I said, did she make a mistake? But when she said she's going to close the miners and close the mines, I got to tell you, you think she was kidding? Do you really think? Okay. And then she comes here 2 days ago and she's begging for your vote. Well, I didn't really mean that. I didn't really mean that. But that's her true feeling. That's her true feeling. Okay? See, she didn't have a teleprompter once when, you know, when she said that. That's why she uses a teleprompter. She uses a teleprompter because she can't make that kind of a mistake, okay? I don't have teleprompters, folks. Is it better? Isn't it better, right? It's better. So here's the story. We all had a good time tonight. Considering the subject matter is no good. You know, the subject matter stinks. I mean, our country's in trouble, so the subject matter's bad, but the subject matter will be good because we are going to make America great again. It's going to be good, not bad. Good. So I'll be here again before November. I'll be here again. We got to take care of the other people outside. Will you let some of those people in the next time, please? Let them in. And I want to thank them for being here. They're hearing me on a speaker. They probably think it's a recording. But here's the story. Look, we're going to start winning again. We don't win anymore. We don't win. I love you too, darling. These people are wild. West Virginia. So... And John Denver, by the way, was a friend of mine. He was a good guy, John Denver. That is a great song. So we don't win anymore, but we're going to start winning again. And we're going to win with our military. You know, our military has just been so far behind. And remember this, West Virginia has a massive number, disproportionate to almost every other state, of veterans. And we're going to take care of our veterans. We're going to take care of our veterans. We are going to take care of our vets. Our vets are our great people, and we're going to take care of our vets because they have not been taken care of. In many cases, illegal immigrants are taken better care of than our vets, and that's not going to happen anymore. Not going to happen. So we're going to start winning with our military. We're going to knock the hell out of ISIS, by the way. We're going to take care of our vets. Our educational system is going to get so much better. It is a disaster right now. We're getting rid of Common Core. We're bringing education local. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, which is a disaster. We're going to protect and cherish our Second Amendment, so important. It's under siege. We're going to have strong, powerful borders. We're going to have the wall. Mexico will pay for the wall. It will happen, believe me. And we're going to let people come into our country. We're going to let a lot of people come into our country, but they're coming into our country legally. Legally. And we're going to make great trade deals. We have the greatest business people and the greatest business minds in the world. We're going to use our great business people to make our trade deals. They're dying to do it. They don't want money. They're like, they want to play, they want to do it, they love the country in their own way. Some are nice, some aren't so nice. But I have the backing of some of the greatest business people in the world. They want to do it. They want to see America be great again. And we're going to do it. So we're going to take these horrible, horrible trade deals that are made by people that have absolutely no right to be dealing with the top people of China, the top people of Japan. These are political hacks, and we're taking it away. And we are going to make, instead of these horrible deals, we're going to make unbelievable trade deals that bring jobs and money and economics back to our country. All right? Back to our country. So you've got to remember, in November, seems a long time away, but it's not far at all. And I'll be back, I'm sure more than once or twice even, because this is a very important state to win. This is a very important state to win. But you, your family, your friends, you're all going to get out to vote. And I will tell you, you will look back and you will say it was the single greatest vote you ever cast. America will be great again. We'll be America first. We'll start winning, winning, winning. And you are going to be very proud. And for those miners, get ready because you're going to be working your asses off, all right? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.